Hello everyone for HRM workshop on employee experience. We also had the chance to speak with Dennis, HR manager at Vestel Europe's Rotterdam office. So Vestel operates in partnership with Sharp across Europe, making it a truly international organization. And Dennis, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to contribute to your research.
Could you start by introducing yourself and telling us a bit about Vestel Europe's operations here in Rotterdam?
Of course. So, I'm the HR manager for Vessel Europe, based here in Rotterdam. Let's talk about the company a little bit. Vessel is one of Europe's largest electronics manufacturers. We produce televisions, household appliances such as refrigerators, dishwashers,
Mm-hmm.
and consumer electronics. In Europe, we operate in partnership with Sharp, which adds a really interesting cross cultural dimension to the workplace. Our Rotterdam office is in the European hub, so we work with people from many different nationalities and backgrounds. From an HR perspective, that makes every day quite dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let me briefly explain what is our workshop is going to about. So we will be making a workshop about employee experience, how organizations design and deliver what it feels like to work there, and how does and I want to ask you like how does Vestal Europe approach this?
Alright, let me explain in this way. So, employee experience is very high in our agenda because we operate across multiple cultures: Turkish, Dutch, Japanese, French, and beyond. We cannot afford to have a one size fits all approach because we invest heavily in onboarding, in making sure people understand our values from day one, and in building a culture where different working styles are respected. The Sharp partnership has actually taught us a lot about this because Japanese culture is very different from Dutch work culture and Turkish culture. And finding the balance has made us better at designing experiences that work for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Great. Uh, and I want to ask, what does Vestal Europe do particularly well in terms of employee experience?
Alright, so I would highlight two things. First, our international mobility. Employees have real opportunities to work across our European offices, which is very attractive, especially for younger talent. Secondly, our learning and development programs, I will say. We offer structured training, language support, and mentoring. In a company like ours, continuous learning is not optional because the industry moves very fast, and so do we.
Mm-hmm. Your workforce spans multiple generations and nationalities. So, have you noticed differences in what Gen Z and millennial employees expect from work, especially in a European context?
Absolutely, and the generational differences are very visible here. Millennial employees, for example, roughly those in their early 30s and above, tend to value stability, clear career progression, and structured feedback.
Mm-hmm.
They appreciate knowing where they stand and where they are going. And on the other hand, Gen Z arrives with a very different set of expectations. They want to know the purpose behind their work, so they just go to work and do their tasks. They ask absolute, they ask about sustainability,
Mm-hmm.
about our values, about flexibility, often in the very first interview. And honestly, I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the generation choice.
So, how does Vesta Europe respond to Gen Z's expectation of purpose and flexibility?
We have had to evolve. Vessel has strong sustainability commitments. We are interested in energy efficient products and reducing our carbon footprints across the supply chain. We now communicate this much more explicitly in our recruitment and onboarding as well. For
Mm-hmm.
Gen Z, knowing that their work contributes to something meaningful is a real motivator for them. And on the flexibility side, we introduced hybrid working for all office roles after the pandemic, and we have kept it after the pandemic as well. It has become a non-negotiable for attracting young talent in the Netherlands and across most of the Europe.
So, working across Turkish, Japanese, and Dutch cultures must create some interesting HR challenges. So, how do you manage generational expectations across such different cultural backgrounds?
To be honest, it is probably the most complex part of my job. For example, in Japanese work culture, shaped by the sharp side of our partnership, there is a strong emphasis on loyalty, hierarchy, and long term commitment. Dutch culture tends to be much more direct, flat, and flexible, as you know. And Gen Z employees, regardless of nationality, are pushing for autonomy and transparency everywhere. So we have to design HR process that are culturally sensitive, but also generation aware, I would say. And it requires constant listening and adapting.
So, final question. What is your advice for future HR professionals who will manage multi generational, multicultural teams like yours?
Tough question. So I will say be curious and stay humble. You'll never fully understand every culture or every generation. Trust me, I tried and it is quite impossible. And that is okay because what matters is that you create an environment for people where people feel heard and valued, regardless of where they come from or how old are they. Invest in listening, run regular surveys, have informal conversations, pay attention to what people are not saying, and never stop designing. Employee experience is not a project with a deadline, it is an ongoing commitment.
So, Deniz, has been an incredibly valuable thing to do an interview with you. The international and generational perspective you have shared will add a lot to our workshop, and thank you so much, and thank you for your time.
My pleasure, and good luck with your survey and workshop. Sorry, not survey.